Hello everybody, welcome back to Finally Rob Plays. Today we are playing House Flipper 2 and we are selling everything. What I've done is, after selling the first house that I flipped after all the tutorial ones, going through all the neighborhoods, I just saved all the money and then I started flipping one house after the other. So this has been weeks in the making because I want to see how much money I can make. Starting point was 1.6 million, and I want to see how far above we come out at the end. Of course, on the way to selling all of this and on the way to seeing how much money we're actually making, I'm going to give you a tour of every one of these homes because, of course I am. So this was the first one that I did basically without any quests attached, if that makes any sense. So, don't be too harsh as I give you this tour of the first house that I did. So this is the kitchen. And I was really taken by these cups because you can choose what picture goes on. But yeah, then here's the bathroom. Nice little first aid kit. Here's the bedroom. And I have the lights here as well. And then over here I made a little therapy room because I was imagining that maybe somebody lives here that is a therapist. So you'd have like the first room being a therapist room. This therapist would be sitting here and the client over there with the tissues, the clock in the view of the therapist. It's kind of realistic, I feel like, the obligatory random art piece that you can look at. But yeah, so that is the first house that I did outside of a quest, basically. And now we're going into all of the houses that I've done since. This is not in order of me flipping them because I cannot remember for the life of me in which order I did all these. But we're just going through all of these and we're selling them along the way. So here is the old marketplace. And it has several entrances. We're just going in on this side. Doesn't really matter where, but I think this way we just make our way across. I never did the office over there. I totally forgot about that, but oh well. We'll sell it without an office. But yeah, this is a lot of market stalls that as you can see. Here I was thinking like a lot of, office stuff. Pens and books and notebooks and, everything that you can kind of need in an office. And of course a little cash register. So every stall has one. You see it over there as well. So this is the little stall here. Then we have a little I suppose ice cream and snacks and coffee and whatnot is in this corner here with a seating area. You can look from the inside, but it's not very interesting from here. But a little bit of a barista station as well. So that was really fun. I really enjoyed this corner, making it. Then over here, this is kind of sports, physical activities, this kind of stuff. And then here, we almost skipped it. This is like electronics. So you can see everything that's kind of an electronic thing along with these two. I don't know what they are called. Film thingies. But yeah, printers, everything. And even little bits and bobs that you might just need. And then we can move along. Here's the toilet. I did them like it's just mirrored on the other side. It's the exact same. And then we can move on. Here are the toys. Little kids corner, I suppose. I really loved at the time putting stuff like this on the walls. So yeah, lots of stuff on the walls as well. And then here's another little food thing. Mainly, I guess, advertising with pizza, but there's all kinds of stuff in here. And of course, the cash register. Then here we have just decorations, vases, and little other, things. Then we can move over here. This is like beauty stuff. Never closed this apparently. And I noticed just that I never filled this side up, but it doesn't really matter that much. I think the idea comes across. Then here we have vegetables and fruit. mushrooms, all kinds of stuff. And then I was imagining that these would be condiments or beans or something like that. And then over here is our gardening corner. I really had fun with this. This was probably, along with that place with the barista over there, this might be one of my favorite corners in this place. Even with the seats and everything. And then over here we have clothing and bags. I was imagining that these are shoe boxes. So you have the shoes on top and then the boxes below. And bags. Again with the boxes below. And then, unfortunately, there isn't a lot of choice for clothes that you can put on a hanger, so I just put these in with like different patterns on them. But I think the idea is clear what this is. But yeah, so this is the marketplace. I didn't do anything on the outside of it, I just cleaned it. And we shall sell it, shall we? Let's see what we get. I think we should just get the one where we get the most money out of it, right? So in this case, I suppose we'll do Marcus Offerman for 317,672 monies. Alright, so here I did some outside, as you can see. I put some flowers, some bushes. I wanted it to be really, really pretty outside. This is the garage, you can see here. And then in the back, we can just do the outside before we head inside. There isn't a whole lot on the outside, just the front. I wanted it really, really pretty. And then this is the exit from downstairs, but we're going to go inside through the front door. And in this home I was imagining some sort of like seamstress or something like that. So this is the entry area. There's a little, you know, coat room or something. And then here is like, I suppose, living area with the kitchen. It's a very small kitchen, but you know, with a spice rack and everything. I really love these color combos, blue, purplish, pinkish kind of stuff. This was the bane of my existence to fill this, because at the time I didn't really know the sizes of everything and I was really fidgeting around with this. Here's the bedroom. It's a little bit bare. Again, it's one of the first ones that I did, but I think it turned out quite nicely. I was experimenting with these different kinds of panels here as well. And here's the bathroom. It's kind of split in two. We have the toilet and the bathtub in this side, or on this side, and then we have, you know, everything else here. Then this is the way to the garage, so you can see it opens up out here, but then here's also the area for the laundry. And then if we head downstairs, there's a little shelf here as well. And if we head downstairs, this is the whole seamstress area. Probably she has a business or something like that, because I was imagining these are all product boxes, you know, for packing up everything. Then I put like fabrics and done pieces and stuff that needs to be ironed, and you know, things that are in progress. It was really, really fun to make this, actually. Some more things that she probably made, and more fabric, and you know, folders where I was thinking maybe there are patterns in there or something like that. And yeah, and then this little rack with done coats. And I was imagining these two bags would be something that you'd bring along when you're going to a market or something to sell your products. So yeah, with that, let's see how much we can make from this. So in this case, we'll go with Zoe Smith because we get more profit from her. Alright, here we are. This was the Valentine's build that I uploaded, so we're selling that one today. We're looking at the outside first. I think in the video I already said a little bit, I wanted a little area outside where they can host guests. I was imagining a couple living here, but inside there isn't a whole lot of space, so I was thinking maybe they just enjoy hosting outside. And then there's the garage or garage down here. There isn't much in here. Oops. There isn't much in here. But I put 2 bikes in there because why not? And then the little 2 frogs at the entrance for the, you know, they might like a giggle when they get people come over. For some reason, this wouldn't let me put a door in here, so I just left the hole open instead. And in this house, I was doing a lot of pastels. My kind of base color in here was this pink. And then everything that's pink is also based on the same one. It's all the same pink color family, basically. Even these, they're just a bit darker, but it's the same family of colors here. And I put, you know, greens and blues in there as well, but kind of pastel-y still, but, you know, just to give it a bit more, you know, variety. Here's the bedroom. Turn the light on. Oh, I didn't weigh that, but whatever. So here's the bedroom. And here I was just discovering that I have the choice to actually make different borders and stuff with the different wallpapers and paints and so on. So I really liked the way that this came out with the border around the wallpaper. And here's the bathroom. And I really, really love how this came out. It looks very realistic, I feel like, with these different tiles, and but still it looks really nice, I feel like. Also here, a lot of detail. Pictures of the couple as well, you know, different details. And this is the whole Valentine's vibe that I was trying to go for. There isn't any, you know, DLC for Valentine's, so I just did what I could with what I had. So yeah, let's sell this one and see what we get. Right, here we're making a little bit more money with Peter Neumann. I don't know. I know how to say it in German, Neumann, but I don't think they intended it that way. But anyway, we're selling to him. And here we are now at the house after renovating it. I just noticed that I never sold these back, so let's do that. And this is what it looks like from the outside. I really love this area. This is so pretty. And there... Oh, it looks the same, but it's not. I was just saying over there is another one that I did, but you can't see it from here because I think it's not on this exact map. Anyway, you can see I didn't do anything outside, really. There's an upstairs here. I didn't do anything other than, you know, fill in these holes. These were skylights, but I didn't like them very much. And this is also one of the very first ones where I really played around with cluttering up the space. And also not to my bestie who was here when I finished this and gave me a few tips and ideas. I was imagining that, like, it's an old couple that's been living here for a really, really long time, so they have like a lot of stuff from over the decades. So that's the vibe that I was going for. So it's like all this random stuff that they just collected over the years, right? Not to the seaside. Everything is just full of stuff. Here's the bathroom. Also full of stuff. And then here's where we just started. It's the kitchen area. I never closed this. But yeah, they apparently just made some food. So yeah, everything is cluttered and full, and yeah. But I kind of like the vibe though. Obviously, we cannot forget the live, love, laugh. But yeah, let's sell this and see what we get. Alright, in this case it's Czech Rivera. So here is what it looks like now. I kept the structure as it is from the outside, and here's a little bit of, you know, the garden shed. A little bit of the outside. I was thinking that maybe they have like composter and stuff. Little fireplace. And a bit of an outside area. I can't remember why I put that there. But here it is, and we'll leave it. And yeah, I really enjoyed this, making this place. And it was the first time that I just literally took out all the walls and just rebuilt the inside, because I wanted it the way I would like it. So just moving inside, we have, you know, the entry area. We have the kitchen. Why do I always forget to close these? But yeah, here's the kitchen, cookbooks and everything. These made the same exact food. Little, you know, booze area, I suppose. And as you would do, you just, you know, sometimes you just leave your vacuum cleaner wherever. So here's the living room area. Really had fun cluttering this place up as well. And just kind of choosing how, like, kind of what vibe I like. I was thinking like maybe grandparents, another kind of sewing area. It's just fun to play with this sewing stuff. I even made a box with like all these different colored threads. But yeah, that's that. And then here's an office area. I keep leaving these things open, but yeah. I did my best to clutter this all in a realistic way, so this would be like a bit older couple, but they already had a computer, right? So I really enjoyed that. And let's go upstairs. So this is the bedroom of the older couple. They have their bed. I was imagining them just buying this set that just fits together, and they have an old TV here so they can watch from the bed. They have a bunch of bags because maybe they like traveling or something like that. They have a lot of storage, a lot of pictures, family pictures and cards and books and whatnot. Just a lot of clutter, but apparently they like reading a lot. And a little reading corner here. Here's their bathroom. Nicely cluttered. And then we can move up to the uppest floor, I suppose, and that would be more of a hangout area, hobby, or like, I don't know, if they have friends over that like to climb stairs a lot. So that's here, just a little hangout area under the roof, which probably you wouldn't use that much in the summer because this would be really hot up here. But yeah, and I found out when I was doing this that you can actually put fish up there. So yeah, that's what I did here. Put fish on these beams. So let's see what we get for this one. All right, this is for Henry Spring. We're making the most from him this time. All right, so this place, first it looked like maybe some sort of hotel or hostel type situation, and I was deciding that these are houses where people are just living, you know, little flats that all have the exact same inside, because I wanted to challenge myself and have the exact same layout and just make every house a little bit different. I'm going from the last one I did to the first one I did of those four, and I was thinking that maybe the landlord of this is renovating stuff, so maybe here they just finished renovation, right? So you have stuff just laying around from the builders and everything. You can see here, still see the pattern from doing the walls, stuff like that. So I just wanted this to have like the look of being just finished and basically ready to move in. And then this is the one where people are currently moving in. So you can see that they're probably having a little bit of food in the evening after a full day of, you know, moving stuff into the house. And I was thinking there may be kind of artsy people that are moving in, but everything is still boxed up. There are a few things that kind of let it shine through what kind of people they are. But overall, it's very unfinished because they've just brought everything. They brought their furniture, they brought all the stuff that's still in the boxes, and it's ready to, you know, get finished up, basically. So yeah, that's this one. And then if we move over, now we have two homes where people actually have been living here for a while. So both of them have a nice outside area already. These people here decided to have a little gate leading in and a little chill out area, a little bird bath. By the way, this one isn't moving, it's just part of this kind of statue thing. Maybe they like cycling a lot, maybe they like cats. You know, I was kind of imagining a little bit. And then if we go inside, they have a modern lock on top of the normal one, you know, the kind of number lock. They put a little wall up here just to section off the kitchen area. And then here is a little bit of a, you know, TV area, I suppose. And then we have the bathroom. It's not very cluttered, but doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, right? We have the laundry. They have probably a lot of hobbies. We have a laptop here and a lot of stuff, VR, gaming stuff, photography stuff, music, all kinds of, they probably a young couple with lots of hobbies, very active people, games, you know, swimming stuff. And then here's the bedroom. And maybe they travel a lot, I don't know. I was playing around with the idea of a young couple living here. And last but not least, and this was the most fun of all of them, in my opinion, I was again imagining this really old couple that's been living here for like 40 years or something. So they have like this kind of hedge leading into the house through the front yard. This is where their trash is. And then over there where they have their chairs, this is also where they can look into a pretty corner that they made themselves. They have a little barbecue on the side here. And then going in, you can see this is super cluttered. Again, you know, the older couple, live, laugh, love. I have another one somewhere in here, but I can't remember where I put the other one. But yeah, here's the kitchen, super cluttered. You know, they've collected stuff over decades and decades, right? Little chest, so you can sit there when you put your shoes on. Again, the TV area on this side, just the other way around. Little office nook, but very low tech, no laptops, nothing. Maybe somebody plays guitar, maybe they need a little bit of something to keep mobile, right? So I put a cane here because they're an older couple, so maybe one of them needs a cane. And here's the bathroom. So it looks all a little bit dated because that's the intention here. Here's a little thing to step up to get into these shelves. So all kinds of stuff here. I've never clicked this. Oh. Okay, I didn't know that you could play these. But yeah, there's that. And here's the very, very dated bedroom. It's not super cluttered because I didn't put like a lot of open shelving or anything in here. But they have their family pictures, they have books and games and lots of fish and everything sea related because they love the sea, otherwise they wouldn't have been living here for this long, right? But yeah, so that's this space and we're going to sell it and see what we get out of this one. Whoa, I would have thought I would get more money out of that, but I suppose it doesn't matter how much work you put in, really. So I guess in this case it's Lewis Williams who's getting it because we make a little bit more money from him. Alrighty, so final verdict. We started out at 6,437. We are now at 3,026,716 monies. That means that we made a total money, I suppose, I don't know. We made 3,019,400 from selling all those houses, meaning that if we started at about 1.6 million, what did we make? About a little over 1.4 million of profit. So yeah, that is that. I hope you enjoyed this very much. If you want me to flip something in a very specific style or whatever like that, if you have a funny idea for me to flip a house or a specific house maybe you struggled with or that you enjoyed very much, let me know in the comments and I'll go ahead and do that. It might take a while because these flips take hours, but do let me know. I really enjoy this game. I'm happy to make a video of it. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, click the bell button, all the good stuff, and I see you next time. Bye.